They hail from around the globe, and though separated by oceans, they gather in the virtual world for reasons as varied as their locales. Whether it's a defending champion looking to retain his title, a new and eager hopeful striving for recognition, or a legend prepared to recapture past glory, in the end, the one goal they all share is to win. But when naming a victor, only one driver's name can be etched into the record books. You're watching the Heusinkveld MX-5 World Tour.
This is more than just a season. This is a war. General after general has searched, poked, prodded, and inched towards breaking the most indestructible armor that the world has ever seen, to no avail. It is with that look of impossibility that last time out saw some respite, as said armor would not be donned. Many in this series have asked for a takeover. On WrestleMania weekend, it is time for the Heusinkveld MX5 World Tour to take over Virginia International Raceway and begin round 4 of the championship. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Global SimRacing Channel Countdown to Green, in the series that has put more ups and downs and turnabouts than putting Zebedee on the magic roundabout. I, though, am your play-by-play announcer for this afternoon's proceedings, Mr. Hashtag Do You Mind himself, and the observer of sim racing, Jake Sperry. putting a firm foot forward in a time of uncertainty. Joining the coup with me is Bill Soup Zahn, who has probably found 2 or 3 pigeons. Wrong coup, Soup. Joe Peak shall be in the production truck pressing buttons to work cameras by the Invisible Man, Dougie Beard. But Soup, Virginia International Raceway in full course trimmings to boot makes it all the classics of an MX-5 event. Sweepers, straights, the avoidance of an ex-girlfriend, otherwise known as the corner of bitch. Is this Miata heaven on earth?
I think just the opposite, my young, optimistic friend. Virginia International Raceway, or more simply VIR, has been nicknamed the Mini Green Hell. Located in the town of Alton, anyone who's driven VIR probably understands why it gets compared to Woodward like it does. It's winding, it's hilly, it's technical, and it's a pretty long lap. And if this all makes it feel a bit old school, that's because it is. This is the second incarnation, having been reopened at the turn of the millennium. But when it was first built in 1957, it was designed like they used to do most tracks. Send somebody out with a bulldozer, make a path, and then pave it. That impromptu method is what gives us this 3.2-mile, 17-turn circuit. Now, even though the walls aren't super close in most places, it's still a very punishing course. The amount of speed you carry means an off-course leaves you sliding across the slippery grass for ages. Thankfully, during our video lap, we managed to keep the GSRC Miata on the pavement. So to best get an idea of what this track is really like, let's climb on board and take a lap around.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman to the GSRC MX-5, so let's do a lap around Virginia International Raceway. Coming down to the horseshoe, this is one of the more ideal passing spots on the track. In fact, the long straightaway means the MX-5 will be offering up a huge draft to anyone trailing another car. But this never-ending corner can be tough with its tricky apex and deceptively long exit. Get to the power too soon and you can slip off into the grass with ease. There's going to be a little kink to the left, and that leads into the curved braking zone of NASCAR Bend. Dip a wheel off to the right, though, and it's very easy to slide the car off into the tires. From there, it's a short burst to left hook, which is basically the first half of a slow and frustrating chicane. Ideally, you'll want to get a wider entry into the second apex for the optimal line. That arcs us directly into the snake, which should be single file, but that doesn't stop drivers from trying to take it too wide. I can't say it usually ends up well for either party. Finally, we get a little breather as we pop onto the bridge, but now we approach the climbing S's. In the MX-5, it's flat out, but once again, can't really take more than one car at a time. At the top of the hill, hold to the right because behind this blind crest is South Bend. This is a terrifyingly fast corner that is notoriously punishing to anyone who swings wide. The car usually slides across the track into the tires and your day is done. After that is Oak Tree, which is another turn with a curved braking zone. Nailing the exit by getting on the power as soon as you can should really be your focus. You can see up ahead of us the reason why. The long climbing backstretch will give you plenty of time to think about what you got wrong if you come out of the turn too slow. The good news is if you're at least somewhat close behind another MX-5, that good old draft will begin to reel you back in and give you a chance to keep up, or even attack. But if you're side by side heading into the roller coaster, I hope you got some guts because it's going to be a game of chicken at the end of the straight. There's a kink and a crest right as you're trying to slow the car up, which makes consistency a tall order at this bend. The track weaves its way into another technical section where this quick left-hander dumps us into the double apexer that is Hogpen. This is another critical corner because getting to the power early will help keep you safe as we climb back up the front stretch. Gotta make sure you've got the speed to keep from being attacked into the first corner. Hopefully you kept it on the track and have now finished a lap around Virginia International Raceway.
The GSRC MX-5 there, tinkering, tailoring, soldiering and spying on the difficulties of VIR today. However, the shake-up created by the notable absence of a sunny driver has made an interesting situation in the table of championship proceedings, Soup. You saw what happened at the point of the summit, and I think it's time to see some premonitions, which will be wonderful, yes!
You're on a roll today, man. Now, you know, technically, Sonny Catch Me If You Can. His six-race win streak was snapped last time at some point because he was a no-show. He forced to miss that race three-time champion has 100 points twice for a pair of wins. His no-show compensation is 75% of his average points earned. Easy math there, that's 75, plus 26 points for being fourth on the miles per incident chart. You add that all up to get 301. Now here's the latest news. With about 8 minutes before we go green, Canchin's still not here today, so we might need to take the second of his 3 no-show compensations. I'll tell you, somebody who is here is the man who has 3 bridesmaids finishes so far, the Roland Estonian. He's sitting in 11th. Robert Hartley has a pair of thirds and 1 no-show. He sits 46 points back. The Kiwi, Gene Finnis, has a 5th and 2 fourths, swapping positions with Travis Schwenke, who also missed Summit Point. Now, Summit Point winner Marcello Prejean climbed 15 spots and now sits 12th in the pro standings, 16th overall. It was the Italian's first career MWT win in 24 attempts. Congratulations to Marcello. Let's move to the AM Drivers' Championship, where the Belgian Steven van Ostrel had a career-best 3rd place last round to jump to the top of the AM chart and 7th overall. That's a nice performance. England's Adam McNally holds station in 2nd. The Sheriff has come to town with both barrels ablaze. Jordy Fike sits 3rd, 14th overall, a point ahead of England's Neil Bamber. Dutchman Joep de Loop Willemsen rounds out the graphic. Okay, Jake.
Well, changes are frequent, and the ever-moving flow of races seems to set up for a championship less clear-cut than first thought. But something very decisive, and so decisive that even the bookies can't win, is on the telling of the rules soup. Every circuit has a well that we take the water from.
The bookies always win in my world. This is the season 15. There have been 2 3-time champions so far. Sonny Canchin and, of course, the legendary Belgian ace of Speedmaster Jan Koemans. Canchin on his way to pick up his 4th, although another no-show today could prevent that. We are round 4 of 13. There are no drop races, so anything that happens on the track matters. Drivers do get the benefit of what we talked about, those no-show compensations. If you miss a race, you get a percentage of what your average finish is. Setups, these are open setups. I've been told by those who know there's not much you can do when it comes to tweaking the MX-5, but the drivers sure squeal when the thought of returning to the fixed setup is ever mentioned. Race distance, 21 laps today. Not a lot of laps on this big course. There will be reduced fuel cells, so look for pit stops somewhere in the middle 7 laps. Incident caps, you don't have to worry about being DQ'd. There are valuable points, though, depending on where you finish on the mile per incident chart at the end of the season. Currently, the top spot is filled by 3-time clean driver champ. How about Tripp, the Aerosmith, returning back up to the top? Good to see him back up there where he's so familiar. One last thing, track-specific rules. Sometimes we have them, sometimes we don't. The race officials have warned the drivers not to abuse coming out of Oak Tree. That's that final right-hander up before you start the long back straight. Not sure what the penalties are going to be, but Mom has given everybody the evil eye, so don't press her. Okay, Jake.
And you will not get a cookie after dinner if you start hurting Mum and her feelings. So you've got to be very careful about that. Qualifying currently underway right now. There's 10 minutes or 2 laps. And currently it is Robert Hartley in the 52 machine who holds the advantage here of 0.4 of a second, 2:08 flat on the fastest lap time. Back straight time then for Travis Schwenke in the 16 Asbury Motorsports machine. Schwenke is looking to make this push here, looking for a win, a first win in a very long time, and this could be the best opportunity to do it. Small kink left before heading towards the roller coaster, which is one of those corners that you never quite get right when you're out on circuit trying. I've tried a million times to get this corner correct. I never quite seem to get that working as you then head through the final sections of the track, looking for the hog pen as well as he heads onto the brakes into this right-hander, 90 degrees, but feels so much quicker than that. Back up onto the power, looking for a charge and looking for about 0.4 of a second to make it work. So Schwenke, does he have anything to propel himself up onto the front row of the grid? For now, it seems he is able to get himself up to second, 2:08.3. That's perfect, Soup, for the charge that he wants.
You know, qualifying sometime is really important. Here at VIR, probably more important not where you qualify, but who you qualify around. How about Arden Koralski there? He's dropping a little bit. He qualified early in 5th position. Remember, there's an unwritten rule here between all the veterans that Basically, to put it in terms of if you're playing poker, you're going to play tight. You're going to do a lot of folding. You're going to keep your chip stacks big until we get to the end of the night when it really matters. What you want to make sure is you don't make a mistake and break up the train. I think drafting is going to be important here. Errol Num up to second now behind Robert Hartley.
Yeah, and Artem Kurolski cannot go any quicker. His lap time will not do anything. Neil Bamber, though, in the 71 machine. Let's see what the Brit has to offer. He passes the DRS zone. No DRS in these MX-5s. Don't be very silly at all. In 18th position, he currently lands on a 2:10.9. He crossed the line, does a 2:10.3. That's going to help him. He moves up then onto the 8th row of the grid in position 15. That will help the amateur category at this stage. A lot of drivers in the amateur category looking for points, especially number 53, Anwar Baral Smith. He is someone who is on a hunt looking for points and arguably should be scoring more points than he has at the moment, Stu.
Yeah, was leading the AM Championship going into Summit Point. Didn't come away with it, though, as he fell down to 6th place in that class. He is very fast. And our top amateur, though, is the driver who leads that standing, Steven Van Opstel, the Belgium driver, sitting in 11th.
Well, we'll see what Baral Smith can do. He's on his final lap, so he heads himself through the roller coaster, now through the final sector corners, through 15, 16, now into the hog pen. He will look here at 17, 18, 19, 20 coming up, and well, for Anwar Baral Smith, this has looked a tidy lap so far, and he's going to really try and straight line this run on the front stretch, looking for that start-finish line, which is always moving to the right-hand side, very similar to Monaco, 2:08.9. That's going to be very helpful. Leading amateur, position number 8, the 4th row, shared with, well, Reese Nice, always someone who wants to make position soon.
Tom Ratchey right behind him is going to be a little bit worried as we'll figure out what Smith is going to be able to do. Again, those amateurs up there always suspicious with the veterans around. Kurowski and Smith both up there.
Yep, they're both up there. They're both doing well, but no drivers currently out on a flying lap. So we're going to say qualifying's almost done. It's time for the Heusinkveld starting grid. Heusinkveld offers a broad array of products and services, including advanced vehicle simulation software and hardware, and sponsors on practically every major team in sim racing today. If you're looking for an edge in racing, get in touch today at heusinkveld.com. Robert Hartley, pole position 2:08.035. He is the fastest man by nearly 0.3 of a second over the rolling Estonian Iru Nom. Travis Schwenke, Dory is up in 3rd, with Gene Genie Fittis there for Progression Racing Australia in 4th. Artem Kurolski will start from 5th, with Brian Holmes in 6th, with Dries Nice, Anwar Baral Smith, the leading amateur, in 8th, the Bay State Hammer in 9th, with Baz Schlob in 10th. Jason Cooper, well, I'll let you go that one there. I'm getting a bit too far ahead of myself. So.
That's all right. Just enjoying, having fun reading the grid. Jason Cooper and Steven Van Opstel. Van Opstel, our top amateur, who has spiked the Sheriff Sarsaparilla, Jordy Fike, in the Baker's Dozen spot inside of a man in need of a bell, Rafael Drazic. Adam McNally and Neil Bamber make up the next row. Bjorn DeForsch and Sarah Dove, Little Bird in 18th position, 19th and 20th, Derek Holland and Max Wright.
Yeah, and then you look further down then for the final 6 machines. You got there Joe McDonald 21st, Andrew Fawcett in 22nd, Jeroen Ursman, Teddy Clark 23rd and 24th, Steve Clays and Jacob Toffs both have penalties. They shall be starting this one from pit road when it comes to their effort. 26 vehicles then here today, and no Sonny Kanchin for the 2nd consecutive race. This is going to really open up the form book, and this is going to open up for opportunities for drivers to attack. 21 laps of racing then here today. Track conditions, though, 29 degrees on the track with winds of 10 kilometers an hour. It's a late afternoon. It's going to be cooler. It's going to be a lot more easier to be aggressive. It's also more likely that we'll see vehicles being turned around. There is not much understeer to be worrying about today. But eyes, though, on Robert Hartley, who's had a fantastic qualifying, was the fastest man in practice as well. He is arguably the favourite for this one coming into the event today. They're going to have that run to the horseshoe, though. It's going to be very difficult for them to make that work. It's always going to favour the drivers on the inside with the odd-numbered positions. That is as much of a guarantee as you are going to see in today's race. Just 10 seconds remain then before we start the lighting sequence, and we will think about getting things underway. We'll get it going now, though. Green flag in the air and a slow start from the second row then from Travis Schwenke. Almost gets thought about there by the driver of what was going to be Gene Fiddis. 3 wide, they'll think about behind. Dries Nice looking to get in on the action. Artem Karolski almost making contact there with Brian Holmes into the horseshoe at turn number 1 and 2. They will come along, and well, already we've had a little bit of argy-bargy thinking about it. Hartley's got himself clear, still side by side. Gene Fiddis, Artem Karolski into NASCAR Ben.
Hartley, the only driver other than Kanchan and Num to get a win last season, leading right now. Some more contact in the back, Teddy Clark involved. We're doing okay, though.
Just about. Adam McNally got involved. He's now scrapping it out with Neil Bamber, but that caused a bit of a bottleneck as they now look to head to the Snake, 6, 6A, and then into 7 as well. So they get through the Snake, no real worries. Now this sweeping section, Soup, it is so easy to get things just absolutely horribly wrong here, because you're going so quick, you're using all of the grip that the tyres have available to you, and you have to be pinpoint accurate through this section.
But it really is fun. It's really a rhythm section. Now they come up to 11, and then Oak Tree. This may be the best passing zone out of Oak Tree, this long straight. We'll see if anybody presses Hartley down the back straight.
Oh, and Hartley gets all out of shape coming off of the exit of that corner. That will allow Irunom to go through. Of course, a virtual oak tree, the actual oak tree, has been chopped down, but we keep it here long in the memory on iRacing services. So Hartley, a little bit under pressure from the bushfink of Irunom, and Nom wants to be helping out and getting himself up there. He's yet to have a win this season, but arguably has had the greatest pace so far to make that happen. Behind that, we have the battle going on P5, P6 as Brian Holmes looks to try and home in on Artem Karolski. But Karolski was able there, Soup, to close down the gap to Gene Fiddis. And this is where the draft really becomes heir apparent.
Yeah, I was worried that Karolski was going to lose touch with the 4 leaders, but he was able to gather them up. And now the train goes all the way back, maybe to 9th position, back to Dries 9th. You got to be careful. Tom Ratchey in 10th doing his best to hang on to the back, but I think he's not going to be the caboose as he's losing touch.
Dries 9th, that's a very good name there for him. It's a bit of a nickname. Here's Schwenke having a look on Irunom. He's not going to be able to make that attack work, but I believe we had a little bit of contact there just behind as Brian Holmes suddenly loses positions. That is going to be Anwar Barrow Smith, the leading amateur, looking to find his way through. Outside line, though, heading to NASCAR. That's not going to be very helpful, and he'll be on the outside once again as he heads for the next left-hander out on track. But he gets the clearance, and he gets through on Brian Holmes, being too greedy there, Sue, as he looked to try and get past Karolski into the horseshoe.
Yeah, Brian Holmes is one of our sponsored Eagle Nest Tavern cars. This is one of the things I talked about, though, with the rookie of Smith. You don't want to be battling right now because you've got to be careful. And now he's going to lose touch with Karolski.
Well, Anwar Barral Smith currently has a bit of youth energy about him in the youth energy machine, so he'll be using that to try and propel himself forward. Dries Nice, though, he'll sit and wait. He likes the patient game from time to time. Little bit on the grass there in the Eagle Nest Tavern machine was Brian Holmes. He's got to be careful about that. Also having to be careful about is the fact that miles per instant becomes a factor, and you want as many points in that category as you possibly can. And for now, Anwar Barral Smith just needs to get onto the back of Karolski, who is completely gone from the leading 4.
Yeah, he lost a lot of time through the technical session of 7, 8, 9, and 10. Not sure if he's... I think he's lost the draft now as the front 4 will try to stay in line. They know not to fool around. They're happy to ride behind the pole sitter of Hartley. Just go out there and lead us away. Let's turn this into a 4-car battle instead of a 10-car battle. Karolski, though, really strong into 14.
Oh, he was strong, but I wonder if he was too strong there through the roller coaster. Maybe too much of a thrill ride for him as he ran a little bit deep in that section of track. So Karolski, he's pushing to stay within 1 second of Gene Fiddis, and Gene Fiddis right now very content to stay behind Schwenke. I thought he had a chance on the back straight. On the front straight, I don't think he will have such said opportunity. Gap at the front, half a second right now between Hartley and Nom. This one's going to be sorted out in the pit stop window. Soup, what sort of pit stop window are we looking at today?
We're going 21 laps. Simple way to do it, divided by 3. So I think the first 7 laps going to be too early. The last 7 laps will be too late. Look for something around 8 to 14 right in there.
And most often you will see drivers try and go as late as they possibly can to make sure that they keep themselves in with the shorter pit stop times and keeping themselves in the strategy loop. Behind this all, though, as we look further down, there's Stephen Van Opstal, the championship leader in amateur category. He's got Adam McNally there, the Geordie, just behind him from the Tooten side and Newcastle, as he looks to try and get through. Jason Cooper just in front of them in the 035 machine right now. So what does Adam McNally have to do to push his way forward? Because he was very good in practice, but his qualifying effort wasn't as good as maybe first thought. But he is +3 though for the day.
Yeah, Jason Cooper running in 10th would just like to race in line, but Van Opstal is very aggressive. We'll see if those guys fight it out, make it easy for McNally. What I want to point out, Bamber in 13th, a little further back, is Jordy Fike. Had a real good qualifying run up in 13th. He's lost a position as the Sheriff races back there in 14th. Behind him, Drazik, Dove, good run from Sarah Dove, and 17th is Max Wright.
Yeah, and Max Wright there doing well. Bjorn de Force is also under pressure here in 18th position. Derek Holland and Joe McDonald want to get in on the action, as does Baz Schlob, who has lost 11 positions then in the opening 3 laps. He's looking to get through the entirety of the train. There was a time, Soup, where Baz Schlob was considered the unluckiest driver in sim racing. I wonder if he's just rekindling some of that area now as Holland looks for the move.
Baz Schlob is always fun to watch, as we are back there looking at him right now. Well, we're on Jake Wright, actually, but Slav is in this mix. We look at DeForce. There's Slav back in 21st in a great battle. He's right behind Joe McDonald, Derek Holland, and Bjorn DeForce. Small field here today, Jake, for by MWT standards. Only, what do we got, 26 drivers.
I will doubt we'll see some lap traffic, but we will see a train now that goes from 4 to 7 and almost 8 with Dries Nice trying to get onto that one, and the nice guy wants to put himself in position. So Hartley has suddenly brought through some friends, and one of those friends, Artem Karolski, a 2:07.8 that last time by. That is a full 8/10 of a second, Soup, quicker than the race leader on that last lap. Most of that down to the draft.
Yeah, I was really worried because he was really dropping back. I thought the front four were going to run away with it. Tip of the hat to Kowalski, who did that. On the other side of the coin, though, is the driver in 9th, Tom Ratchey. He had actually got onto the back of Dries Nice when the battling was going on between Smith up in front and Holmes. But now Ratchey has fallen back into the clutches of Jason Cooper. Remember we talked about Jason Cooper and McNally? Well, they've run down the Bay State Hammer.
Well, there's a crack in the Bay State Hammer now, and he needs to go in for repairs potentially, as he's dropped back through the field, lost about a second to Dries Nice on the last lap, but he's doing okay right now. And, well, we got ourselves a little bit of argy-bargy.
Oh, Neil Bamber, who was racing up in, remember we were looking at him racing in that battle? He had an off.
Oh, that's a big off as well, because that was coming ahead just before the oak tree. He was sideways. He gets a little bit on the grass, trying to catch that at every single stage. And that is about the best definition of a tank slapper, because that was so slow.
And the elevation change did not help him either, as the track dips away there and the car gets really light. It does. A nice run.
It does, and now he's with Andrew Fawcett in a battle going on for position 22 out on circuit. Jeroen Ursum also in the mix of that one as well, but I expect Neil Bamber to get away without any damage on the machine, so he should be doing a very fine job. Dries Nice through then on Brian Holmes. He's gained a position in the battle for second, though. Let's keep an eye on this one just for the moment. Schwenke was thinking about making the move, getting Asbury Motorsports up into a good position, but unable to make anything happen on Irunom. And I wonder if the fuel save game here, Soup, is starting to come into the mind of drivers. Lap 5 of this event, a lot of long straights here. It wouldn't be too amiss to see drivers save maybe a lap of fuel around this track.
Yeah, if I'm Robert Hartley, it said, okay, I can't seem to break up this train. Looks like we are going to be 8. There's no reason for me to do all this work. Errol, why don't you take a shot at the front? Hey, just to follow up a little bit on Holmes, he almost got into the back of Smith. He had to back off. The car got off on the grass. Brian did a good job of saving the car, but that's why he's fallen off and now in danger of losing touch with the front train.
Well, he's there-ish. The gap was 9/10 of a second when they crossed the line. I wonder if he has lost the draft in this later stage, and That's going to mean that his job's going to be a little bit harder because he's going to be trying to run the same pace as what maybe, say, someone like Robert Hartley is able to do. And that's not going to be an easy challenge on your own, as, again, you're seeing aggressive Gene Fiddish through the oak tree. He seems that he wants to be able to make a move, Soup, in 4th position, the New Zealander, to try and make that happen, but Gene Fiddish really can't find a way forward, and Artem Kurolski, who is stronger at different points on the circuit, could have this opportunity to really attack here on the section heading towards the hog pen, but look how Schwenke just sits on the rear.
Yeah, I'm not sure if any position, 2nd through 7th, really matters as far as fuel goes. What I think those guys would like to do, and I'm talking about Fiddish, he'd like to pick off a few before the pit window opens up. He'd rather pit from 3rd or 2nd than maybe from where he is in 4th, and he certainly doesn't want to lose any spots to Kurowski.
Track position is oh so vital, and that is what the worry is going to be. Brian Holmes has caught back up then to Dries Nice. He's put himself back in 8th position, but he's still there, and he's in with a shot of winning this one. And how often have we seen when Sonny Canchan's been in a race that this race has been decided on who is best on the lane? I doubt we will see that this time. This is an 8-car train, and I don't see anybody going for an underfill and looking to try and get that jump. This one is going to be very firmly in the hand, Soup, I think, in my opinion, of being this race that is going to be won by an on-track overtake.
Riding on the, looking back off of the Roland Estonian, back at Travis Schwenke behind him. Director, can we quickly go to 12th position? It's not often we get a chance to show Jordy Fike leading, and he's not leading right now in 12th, but is leading this 4-car train. Remember, we talked about him being a little farther back than I would have liked. He's up to 12th, picked up a spot, having a good run. And how about Sarah Dove, the 4th car there, the caboose back there, chasing Drasic and Van Ofstrom?
Well, let's see what Sarah, Queen of Scots, has available up her arsenal. So, Rafael Drajas just in front in Club UK and I colours, and well, he will be looking to try and get past Van Opstal, who is all over the back of Jordy Fike at this stage. You can see how Van Opstal is searching for a different line, trying to find any way to get past Fike, but the sheriff says, no dice, you're not getting past with contraband, no chance just yet. Rafael looks for the move.
And these guys, there's a real chance that these guys might be able to get up onto the back of McNally. It's about 2.4 seconds. What you have are 8 cars up front, then a gap to a 3-car train that is Cooper, Ratchie, and McNally, then another about 2 seconds gap to this 4-car train we're looking at. And there's your top 17 drivers, 15 drivers.
How close are we to Talladega?
Yeah. In fact, let's go to this. It looks like we have a pass. This is Fike side by side, and it looks like Van Ofstral's going to get this pass made. Fike's going to drop back to 13th. Oh, and peeking in there was Drasic as well.
Oh, he looked for it. The block was thrown there, Soup. So you see there, Van Opstal got through. Fike said, no, I don't want another position going. I'm not staying behind you. You can wait for your own turn to have an opportunity. But look at how that has instantly opened up. 6 tenths of a second.
Let's go to the lead and 5th. There's 3 wide behind him in a battle for the lead up front. All of a sudden, this lead train, Jake, has got a little messy.
And that's Iru Nom through as Hartley battles for 2nd. Behind that, though, the battle for 5th. It's Anwar Baral Smith versus Dries Nice, who's got a 2-for-1 special at the supermarket. Artem Kurolski pays the price then for not putting himself in position, still side by side as they make their way to NASCAR. Not going to happen. Kurolski down to 7th. But just like that, it can seem like a sleeper race very, very quickly here. But just like that, you've got to be on your toes as an announcer and as a fan watching this, because it could so easily have the blue touch paper lit.
Yeah, absolutely. All the front 4 cars started to fool around, and then the next 4 cars started to fool around. The big loser was Kurowski. Started the lap in 5th. He loses 2 spots back down into 7th.
As easy as you like. So that's going to be a little bit worrying. Gene Fiddish was unable to make positions, as was Travis Schwenke in the fracas. So they're going to have to keep sitting and waiting, but this, decisive from Robert Hartley, losing the lead, is now going to mean he's allowed to fuel save here, and Iru Nom will be now using up more fuel than he would feel is necessary onto the back stretch once again.
Yeah, I don't think Hartley has any problem right now being in 2nd position. Arrow, you can do a little bit of the work. And honestly, I think Schwenke and Fiddish are happy in 4th. As long as they don't fall any further back, they'll be good.
Well, they should be good, and you were talking about what Stephen Van Opstal can do. He has caught the Bay State Hammer and Adam McNally on the Tooten side, and Jason Cooper as well. So that train now brings it up to a pack of 6. The pack of 4 at the front, though, keep an eye on this one. Fides was thinking about the move into the roller coaster, unable to make things happen, so close, but there's no cigars just yet then as we look to end lap 7. The start of the pit stop window comes into play. If you're in the middle of that pack, Soup, this could be the good time to do the Bay State hammer stop, coming early for the fuel.
Yeah, I don't know, though. I don't think if you're guys like Schwenke and Fides and Smith and Kowalski, you can afford to get away from Hartley and Numb and let them start the hot lap. Hartley and Numb right now may not be doing everything they can, but once they lose a few of those guys to pit stops, watch them put up the time. I think you got to stay. I think you got to follow the leader here to be a little bit boring. Look at the move back and behind, though. Careful. That is Brian Holmes being challenged. Woo, Kowalski now drops back. Remember, he was just in 5th a few laps ago. He's now the caboose.
Too wide, too deep just behind that. Jason Cooper under pressure then from Adam McNally as the Bay State hammer holds off Stephen Van Opstal as they make the run then to NASCAR. And a big checkup from Van Opstal as he was just gaining enough to get onto the rear of that Bay State hammer. But the hammer decided, nope, you're going to be waiting behind. The Sheriff goes around and takes contact as well from Rafael Drazas. And that, a disaster for Jordi Fike.
I knew you were going there. You took the words right out of my mouth there. Dove does a good job of getting around.
Yeah, she did as well. Now, Fike comes out with Derek Holland, but it's so easy just to get yourself in a little bit of a pickle. That pickle, well, let's just say, Soup, that when you get yourself spun and in low speed conditions as well, we said the track was cooler, those tyres, they should have been up to temperature by that point, but it's so easy to lose the rear end.
Yeah, now, I don't think Jordy got a lot of damage. He should be okay. You know, you were talking about somebody who maybe would want to pit early. I think that Van Opstal might be one of those guys. I think he's faster than the 7 guys, now 6 with the loss of Fike, that he's racing with. He might be able to come in early, start running some hot laps on his own and leave these guys behind.
Yeah, he has to be very, very adept with his strategy, a side-by-side. Anwar Barral-Smith now under pressure from Brian Holmes. Holmes keeps the inside for the next left-hander around the outside at the roller coaster. How often can you say that? Brian Holmes, that is a glorious overtake.
That's not the first time Holmes and Smith have been side-by-side. They've been working hard.
Oh, there was a fake thrown for pit road by Robert Hartley. That was interesting. And Rafael Drazas again off there. That time, that was down at... Oh, that was contact. They were side-by-side, Drazas and Sarah Dove. They were heading towards the roller coaster. It looked to me there, Soup, that Drazas just took too much out of the corner post going off at the roller coaster.
The little bird is not going to be happy with that one. She had the car pretty far to the left of the track, and Drazas wanted to get a good entry, widest entry possible into the upcoming corner. There just wasn't room. I'm not sure. Maybe he didn't know she was there.
Well, Sarah, Queen of Scots, will be saying off with his head after that one. That was not ideal at all. So your front 8, as things stands, are as follows. Norm leads, Hartley second with Schwenke, Fides, Nice.
Oh, Brian Holmes.
And yes, Brian Holmes off, and off in a big way. And that one through turn number 5, out on circuit, goes through the right-hander, clips the curb, and it's going, and like any auction, gone.
Oh, boy, he had an eventful race. That one was not a result of Smith. He did that one on his own, so the Eagle Nest cabin car, probably going to be able to finish the race, but it's not going to be as fast as it was. Let's ride on board.
Yeah, and there's the incident, and bang, into the wall, or into the Armco, sorry. That's not going to be ideal. It's slightly broken up the pack, though. Anwar Barral-Smith and Artem Korolski will want to start making charges, then back to Dries Nice after that incident. It's made it a train of 5, and the perennial best in big pack races is Dries Nice. Hark back to Phillip Island, but let's not do that just yet. Side by side for the lead. Robert Hartley says, thank you, I'm coming back through. I want track position now. I want to get back to the front. I want to dictate the pace of this race, as now you can see Irunom thinking about the line for the hog pen, but that one not working for him on the brakes to end lap 9.
Yeah, I think now as we get farther, a little bit along lap 13, we're looking at pit stops pretty soon. I think Hartley would like to be up in front so he can decide when he comes in. He's going to do a little bit of defensive driving. No, Numb's just going to peek in there.
Well, he's going to have a peek, but side by side, the Genie under pressure from Dries Nice, who has to go the long way around to the horseshoe and maybe looking for an up and under. He's searching and will finish, not able to get the power down off the exit that maybe he would have liked, and he slightly left the door half ajar there into turn number 3. Just able to hold that off as they head towards NASCAR. So good job there from Dries Nice. He just managed to close the door as Adam McNally and Jason Cooper now going at it just behind for positions 8 and 9. Remember, they're in a strategy play right now here, Soup, because the base late hammer's already come in.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me that Tom did that as well. He likes to get out of the mess sometimes. I think he feels confident in his pace. Get out of there, and we'll see how it plays out. You know, you're talking about the guys up front. Veteran, the top 5 guys. Then you get those rookies back in 7th and 8th, or 6th and 7th of Smith and Kowalski.
And, well, crucially, one of them is an amateur in Anwar Burrell Smith. So that just shows you how strong this amateur is. The fact that he is racing up there and legitimately has a shot of victory as he closes up through the oak tree and is officially back again on the rear of Dries Nice. And that's not going to be ideal for Nice as he wants to keep on that charge. And, well, keep an eye out, though, on Travis Schwenke. He never seems to have his time, Soup. And I wonder if this is his time because he's been playing the sleeper agent, sitting, waiting, thinking about the move. Finally, he'll go for it here as he heads to the roller coaster, down to the inside. He'll have to do it a long way round on Iru Nom. And Nom, so much more aggressive there as he looks to hit the brakes. And he holds the position, but it checks them all up.
They are working with 12 to go here. Maybe another 4 or 5 laps before it's absolutely mandatory that they come in.
Well, mandatory is one thing. Right now, it's about who wants to make the decision. And look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4 go in, and 3 stay out. They check up on the lane. I'll go in when you go in. Hartley brings Nom, Schwenke, and Fiddis to the party then. They will get themselves down on the lane. Staying out is Kowalski, Burrell Smith, and Nice, and Burrell Smith down to the inside at the horseshoe will look to gain the race lead, and at a decisive point in time he runs a bit too deep. So here comes Dries Nice straight back at him. He'll get the up and under, beautifully done, but they're not done. Side by side as they head themselves then towards NASCAR, and Burrell Smith decisively makes the position, but again he runs too wide, and again Dries Nice gets himself down to the inside. Finally the position is sorted. Robert Hartley comes out ahead of Iru Nom and Travis Schwenke. Gene Fiddis was the man who lost out in the stops, 2 seconds. Wow. You do not see many races that go like this. And now suddenly Dries Nice has got to charge. He's been held up in the opening sector here, Soup. Artem Kowalski now looking a little bit impatient.
Yeah, I can't tell you how bad all that battling was going to be for Nice and Smith and Kowalski. That's exactly what Hartley, Num, Schwenke, and Fiddis wanted. Look for them to crush them after the pit cycle.
And that's going to be very crucial as well, because this race is certainly not decided. And Soup.
Yeah, well, they got some traffic to deal with. That's Jordy Fike does a good job of getting out of the way.
That was for position, Soup. So Jordy Fike getting a little bit out of sorts, and now Gene Fiddis gets a bit held up. Side by side, Fiddis almost forced off the road as he heads through the very difficult left-hander. Last thing Fiddis wanted, he got a bit of respite from everybody as he headed up towards the oak tree. Now he's got to think about, can I go down the inside? And this is the difference maker between knowing who you're fighting and not knowing who you're fighting. Fiddis doesn't often race with Jordy Fike down in the field, so he will need to try and work out a way to get past, and get past quite quick.
Yeah, but this is a full 9th position for Fike right now, because he still needs to make his stop. This is crushing Fiddis as he's losing touch with Schwenke.
Well, he gets it side by side. He should be more aggressive when he gets onto the brakes. And just like that, the sheriff says, well, I can't do anything about you. On your way there, good sir. So they keep themselves going as in pit road is Dries Nice. In pit road is Artem Kowalski. Anwar Burrell Smith is on his own, going as long as he can. Kowalski sits and waits. So does Dries Nice. They're looking to get the fuel. They're looking to get going. Nice comes off the lane first, though, followed by Artem Kowalski. Where is the leaders coming through now? And Dries Nice is going to pick up on the back of the train, and maybe Fiddis through as well. Fiddis gets the jump on Dries Nice. Just what was wanted. And now the train is a firm 5 as Kowalski has work to do.
Yeah, Nice did a good job of hanging on behind him. I really thought he was going to be in trouble. It could all be about pit stop times, but no, about 15 seconds. They were all about the same.
They were all about the same. Now the pressure cooker, though, Soup, comes on to how quick can Anwar Barral-Smith hot lap this circuit. We saw on that opening lap that he attacked Dries Nice. He made two very vital mistakes that cost him a lot of time. Now he's got to go out there and set a beautiful time on his own. And I think hot lapping is the strong strength that Anwar Barral-Smith can show.
Yeah, if he's got anything, he's got to do it now. Again, I worry about this one as he's trying to outpace Robert Hartley, who's your pole sitter. Or let me qualify second position. But no, he was the pole sitter. Hartley's the pole sitter, so yeah.
But he's got a lot of work to do. He started 8th. He's currently leading this event is Anwar Barral-Smith, number 53 Machine Club, UK and Ireland, as he heads into the roller coaster, looking to really attack this circuit, looking to go through these final section of corners with a lot of vigour and life, which the Youth Energy drink sponsor does have in terms of what it gives to professional athletes. Through the right-hander, then he comes of turn number 19 and onto pit road at the end of lap 12. Anwar Barral-Smith, now is the time to do or die. Meet your maker. I don't think we've ever had, Soup, an amateur winner.
Yeah, you know what? His faster run was, he's out there on lighter fuel, but remember, the other guys took left side tires, so the car should not be as fast. We'll see. I got a feeling that he's going to get blown away.
And Nom's gone through on Robert Hartley, so Iru Nom now becomes the train leader. Barral-Smith then still on the lane, waiting, finally gets off going, but the train's going away. There goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Artem Karolski, 6. He's gonna have to work hard for this one then. This is not decisive, but he's got to try and find a couple of seconds here. They need to start checking up in front because Barral-Smith is behind also Karolski by a second or so. This is not ideal for this battle for the lead, and suddenly Iru Nom, who's been second all series long, has now finally got a decisive shot at the victory.
The guy who made that work, remember, 3 guys decided to stay out, Nice, Karolski, and Smith. Nice is the only one that was able to hang onto the back of the train. He comes out behind Fittis. And how about Fittis, after getting stuck behind Fike, was able to negotiate that and get right in there. So now 6 cars up front.
6 cars up front doing well. The Bay State Hammer, though, is on the charge. He's got Adam McNally just in front, who he wants to battle with. McNally is with Van Opstal, and this is a battle that is very, very crucial, Soup, because, of course, the Amateur Category Championship is split by not very much at all, 25 points only. Adam McNally needs points on Stephen Van Opstal to gain any sort of traction heading to round 5 of the season. So, right now, the Bay State Hammer is being a little bit of a nuisance here for McNally, you'd feel.
We look at that one. McNally on the back there with Rathy trying to find him. Hey, can we quickly jump up? We got to give some love to Boss Slav. He stayed out there. When I said there were 6 cars up front, I looked at the back there. I saw Nice running in 6. I figured we got to be 6 cars. I forgot about Boss, who's out there leading the lap.
Well, Bajlov, he's out there leading a lap. He's gone 13 laps on the fuel, and he should be coming down onto pit road relatively soon. If not, he may be spluttering and choking and running out of gas in the tank. So the 45 machine... Well, it's not time. It has to be this time, and it is this time, Soup. Well done, you got something right.
It's oh my goodness, it happens on occasions.
Yes,
all right.
It does.
So now we've got that sorted out. So we got Num up in front, Schwenke behind him, Hartley, Fittis, and Nice. 5-car train.
5-car train. We do have a couple of retirements. Teddy Clark is one of them. Brian Holmes. Max Wright is on the lane 2 laps down, as is Jeroen Ursum a lap down, but I think Ursum's going to be able to get out and going. Artem Karolski, though, under pressure. Through goes Barral-Smith. Does he have it sorted, though? Yes, he does. So Anwar starting to move up. That's position 6 gone. Well, position
in and out. He comes out in 12th.
He comes out nicely. He's behind this battle, though, Soup. McNally versus the Bay State Hammer, and the Hammer's gone through. But look how much time they've lost to Van Opstal. A full second plus.
Yeah, that was. They finally did lose touch as you're looking at as that battle there with Slob and McNally.
Well, they've lost touch, but that's not much that they can do. And in fact, the battle for seconds changed because Travis Schwenke now up into second. Hartley's going backwards. Travis Schwenke's deciding, I'm going to sit then in the prime position and get a shot at victory that I very rarely get. Dory's deciding not to keep swimming as Gene Fiddis in fourth position loses a bunch of time, missing the apex just before the oak tree. So easy to do, and now look at this. Gene Fiddis suddenly opens up the gap with Dries Nice behind as well. And here comes Schwenke. Schwenke looking for the inside, looking for the race lead. It's rare we see this. Travis Schwenke, hello, race lead. This is a blue moon.
Well, he has all the fuel he needs now. He feels comfortable where he is. Now there's no problem leading up front.
But now it comes to position. So if he's at the front, is that the right place to be on the final lap? Because you will have to defend that position on the back stretch heading towards the roller coaster. So that's what Travis Schwenke has to worry about. Iru Nom currently second, Hartley third, Fiddis fourth, Nice in fifth. Anwar Baral Smith currently 3 seconds back of this pack, looking to do something desperate to get into it, to make it a train of 7. And on that last lap, he lost 0.3 of a second. So that's not going to be ideal overall. Soup, I'm going to give you some precedence right now. Go have a back marker report.
Okay, we have our trip back marker shout out. We'll start in 20th position. I believe it's going to be, well, actually, it's going to be 19th, Bjorn de Forsch. He's battling with Joe McDonald's. They battle for 18th spot, Joe in his familiar McDonald's car. Let's move up. Derek Holland, haven't talked much about him. He's in 17th. He's got about a 4-second cushion between both drivers. Neil Bamber is the next driver, racing in 16th. Again, he's racing all by himself. The Sheriff, he was racing up front, Jordy Fike. And my goodness, that's a car they're going around. That was Rafael Drosses, as he has an off. Go ahead.
Again, and that was too deep at the horseshoe, so easy to happen. He will lose the battle then between Saradov and Jordi Fike, and I will take that as your back marker report then, Soup. A very small one here today, pretty much done and dusted. That's about half the field that we covered, apart from maybe Baz Schlob in 12th position overall. But to the front we go once again, because it seems that there is always a change when it comes to this stretch. Maybe Hartley will want to be in second. Iru Nom currently in the bogey spot in second position, where he's been all season long, wanting maybe a little bit more. And I've said this so long that the Gene Genie's been waiting for podiums and now looking for moves. Hartley under pressure, Nom under pressure, Noah's Ark this too wide, too deep, and it's given up by Hartley. It's not given up by Schwenke as they head themselves into the right-hander of the roller coaster. Now through the left, it's Iru Noms. Now Gene Fiddis wants second position as well. The boxing in, trying to happen. Nom could break away through the hog pen. Not going to happen, though. Schwenke holds on, but suddenly 7/10. Thank you, says Iru Nom.
Yeah, right now they are positioning themselves for the last lap as the battle. Look at this. Here comes Dries Nice on the outside, wants to move up a spot. He's going to get Hartley. Hartley does not want to be back in 5th. Where I want to be is second position, coming out of Oak Tree on the last lap. I want to try to make the pass, or at least fight for it through the roller coaster, through 14 and 15, then play defense for the checkered flag. That's where I want to be. You cannot win if you're in 3rd position or farther back out of the Oak Tree.
Well, stranger things have happened as Stephen Van Opstal now becomes under pressure. The Bay State hammer down to the inside at turn number 1, and well, very deep, too deep from Van Opstal, and that's going to be 2 positions lost as McNally finally gets his points to close down the amateur category championship battle. Don't count out Baral Smith, who, yes, is down in 7th position right now, but the more these drivers at the front start fighting, 3.4 seconds to Robert Hartley, that could go in a heartbeat.
Rathy took that early pit stop, remember, and got out there. It seemed to play out well for him. You know, the driver who's done really well is in 8th position, Jason Cooper. He's all by himself. He's up 3 spots, which is a big performance considering that all the top runners are still up there. Good job from Jason.
Yeah, Jason Cooper's done fantastically in this stage, and to take something out of the bingo card, I believe that is a driver that we haven't talked about today. So you can tick that one then. very much off of your script. As now, with Irunom under a lot of pressure, Schwenke wants to try and get in on the action, but is going to sit, gonna wait. That's going to allow Fittest to close up. Progression Racing looking like its loading bar is working at this stage. Once again, on the brakes into the right-hander. When they cross the line, though, Soup, 5 laps to go. And that's going to be a signal of, okay, we can start battling.
It'll be interesting in the post-race interview to see if Schwenke is happy right now.
Oh,
Nama's off! Nama's white. He's going to be able to salvage this, but he's going to lose one spot. Look at the momentum. Here they come. Fittest. Here comes Nice in that solid black machine. Is there going to be enough for Hartley to get through, too? I don't think so. I think Num will get it wound up.
Well, that is pressure, and that is decisive. As now Irunom drops off at the podium. So this is how things look. Schwenke leads this. Fittest in second. Dries Nice in third. Irunom now currently in 4th position. And 5th is still Robert Hartley. As now this becomes a scrap, a claw, and the mistakes being seen. Bay State Hammer under pressure again. This time Adam McNally may have to cede that position, and does cede the position just behind 8th and 9th. That battle is going to be going on to the very end of the race, Sue.
Yeah, we'll follow the leaders across the line, then we'll jump back. We'll skip over Kowalski and Smith, who look like they've got that settled out. Kowalski looks comfortable in 6th, at least for now. What is interesting is now Fittest finds himself in 2nd. He's got to be happy with that. Num in 4th have got to be saying, I cannot win from back here. I've got some work to do between now and the white flag lap.
Well, there is a lot of work to do. You have to position yourself. Someone like Robert Hartley, for example, needs a little bit of help in this situation, hoping that in the rarest of rare occurrences that drivers are going to come together through the oak tree then for the 17th time, that these drivers come along. And Schwenke this time has a bit of a gap here, so Gene Fittest will be the man under pressure, but he will block using the slipstream as everyone else can. Dries Nice there started 7th, the highest placed on the grid in terms of being the furthest back he was, and now he's making the most noise as he thinks about moving to the inside at the end of the back stretch. He thinks about it. He'll go for it. Half-hearted attempt, though, on Gene Fittest. Dries Nice, he's winding up that coil. He loves races like this, so he wants it.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. He can play around a lot, but he doesn't want a shot at 2nd to turn into finding him in 5th position. So while he can go ahead and be aggressive, he's got to be careful not to lose his spot.
Almost 3 wide into the roller coaster. Adam McNally holds off Steven Van Opstal, who got through on the Bay State Hammer. So Van Opstal out of nowhere. Wow, where has he come from, Sue?
Well, he's fast. We talked about it. Up front, Nice making a challenge for 2nd. He is side by side with Fittest. Now he has to back off, and that's it. That's what I was worried about. That little attempt is going to allow Aero Num to get in there. Num can't get it done.
Offense to defense instantly. So there was the worry, as we also saw Adam McNally run a little bit wide, and that's allowed both drivers through. The Bay State Hammer then on the outside, looking to get past Van Opstal, and just about manages to make that happen. So good move there from the Bay State Hammer to hold the position, battling against 2 amateurs, doing a fantastic job of racing this one, as McNally had a think into NASCAR, not going to make the move happen. But Soup, these front 5, they've officially dropped Kowalski, they've officially dropped Burrell Smith. They don't have the pace to go out there and win this one. They're a 2nd a lap slower. This is a fantastic cadence that they're being pushed at, but when they cross the line with 3 to go, I think we're going to see even more aggressive driving right now, as Gene Fittest following in the footsteps right now of Travis Schwenke. It is now about he who makes the least mistakes.
The interesting dynamic is that your front row sits in 4th and 5th. In fact, here it comes. Here comes Num now. I think Num's going to make this move. He's got to get a move, and maybe get a little help from Schwenke.
And that's not ideal, because that will open up the gap between themselves and Gene Fittest. 3 wide, thread the needle. Robert Hartley, where did you come from? He's been sleeping for the past 5 laps. Fittest, or not Fittest, sorry. That's Nice who's going to have to give way, but Num will not cede the position. It's got to be around the outside now from Hartley. The nose is firmly shut, and the gap firmly opens. So now it's a 2-horse race at the front for the moment, as Gene Fittest now has arguably the best shot he's ever had at getting a victory. Chase down Schwenke, 3 at the line.
Yeah, I misspoke. I meant get a little help from Schwenke. I meant Hartley there. getting that move. But I think Numb probably has the pace to run these guys down. Travis Schwenke, if you've got a hot lap in you, now's the time to have it.
A hot lap, or you need a lap that is straight fire. That's all he's got left. Into the horseshoe they come along. Iru Nom, he will have the draft. He's within 9/10 of a second. It's the fringes, but he needs a very good opening section of the lap to make sure that he can put himself back into play. Behind that, though, the battle Van Opstal, as Korolski's had to come in for a second stop, mind you, so he underfilled the battle here. Van Opstal side by side, Bay State Hammer down to the inside, up and under, thinking, and now it's a train of four because Baz Schlob in the mix, and he did a 2:09.3 on that last lap. That was a full, get this, Soup, 1.3 seconds quicker than the Bay State Hammer last time by.
Let's go up front as these guys are running nose to tail. Schwenke getting a little help from Fittis. Both these guys know we got to go. We got to get a hot lap because the rolling Estonian is a rolling, and he's a coming, and he's bringing Robert Hartley with him.
And that's the last thing you want. Hartley, who has been the quickest man in practice, the quickest man in qualifying, and arguably the quickest man all race, into the oak tree. And you're seeing how much stronger that the driver of Travis Schwenke is compared to Gene Fittis. Fittis looks like a child looking for his mother through that corner. He is lost, that much lost. And now you're seeing here Iru Nom getting in the mix here. There's draft, though, that is just helping Gene Fittis, but he'll have to try and defend this then with 2 and a little bit left to go. Push to the inside then for Iru Nom. He's thinking about making this. Fittis is on the inside. The two almost come together through the roller coaster. It's still Gene Fittis for now. Fittis doesn't quite shut the door. Finally gets the ability to, but this is only allowing Travis Schwenke the opportunity to break away, and I'm not sure Fittis has the overall pace to chase down Schwenke on his best.
Earlier this season at Phillip Island, it was Fittis and Numb who were trying to run down Sonny Canchin. They got together and they gave the win to Canchin. Here they are again right now. Numb knows I've got to get around Gene. I got to get around the Kiwi if I have any chance of getting up to Schwenke. He's got the inside line now down into the horseshoe. He's going to force this one.
The issue's forced. There's one position. There's two. Hartley, no! They come together around and into Dries Nice goes Gene Fittis. And the opportunity at victory falls away for both Nice and for Fittis. And that means that it is a 3-car scrap between 3 of the great nearly men in the MWT. Hartley versus Nom versus Schwenke for all the marbles.
We'll get the replay of this one and Hartley had to come through. There's no way he could miss this opportunity. I have to come.
Well, that's one way of saying it, Soup. That definitely is. Dries Nice is off again, though. And that incident, it's so easy just to go in a little bit too deep. And he just about went that one iota a bit too far, enough to cost in the long run. Hartley is incredibly slow, though, through the section of track known as the Snake Pit, and I wonder if he just had a few issues. Yes, he was off, and that's going to mean that he's dropped a lot of time, and suddenly it's a train of 2 here, Soup, with a lap and a bit to go.
Yeah, I almost wonder, I don't want to assume, you almost wonder if Hartley isn't having fuel issues. That's why he was sitting back there out of the mix early on. So now it comes down to Schwenke and Numb. Numb has plenty of time to get the job done. I said you want to be in second on the final lap coming out of 12. That's Oak Tree. I think he's going to be right there. It's going to be a battle down into 14. Next lap. This corner right here.
That corner is the magic corner. So Travis Schwenke, now's the time to start thinking about it. How am I going to defend? I tried to break away. I've seen the pack behind disintegrate, but it's okay having it disintegrate. It's a different thing entirely when you have an Estonian who has been second all season long so far and does not want it one more time across. White flag flies at Virginia International Raceway. This one for all the cookies in the jar. Iru Nom versus Travis Schwenke into the horseshoe. No opportunity to make that move with Robert Hartley 1.6 seconds behind. He will capitalise if anything happens between the Bushvink machine and the Asbury machine. In through this next kink left before they head into NASCAR here. This long 90-degree left-hander before you get yourself through that next left-hander out on track. That is the left hook. And it's pretty much a jab that is needed as they head through 5, 5A, and now looking to the snake of 6. And you're just taking that run then through 7, 8, 9, looking at South Bend of turn number 10. It is still Travis Schwenke then who will hold that advantage all the way through, as we also still have the likes of the battle between Ratji, McNally, Van Opstal and Korolski we can keep an eye on later on when they get towards the end of it. But Iru Nom right now heads through South Bend, turn number 10. Turn number 11 is a corner you need to get absolutely perfect, because the oak tree of 12, that's where you set up the magic run. Do not run too wide. The stewards will not take too kindly to the extending of the track. And Nom runs completely off the circuit, and he's going to try and find himself. No, he doesn't. This could have costed him the shot at victory, the one chance he's needed. And now Travis Schwenke, he could just be a third of a lap away from freedom. Iru Nom with one mistake, one costly mistake, which could have cost him in the overall. But Schwenke, you don't have to think that this race is over just yet, because you can still make a mistake if you're not too careful. Nom may still have a chance at the hog pen. He's still closing that gap through the roller coaster, trying to minimize every single corner that he has possibly available to him. Travis Schwenke holding on. Hog pen finishes to go over the curb heavy. Nom's not got much. Nom's not got anything. Travis Schwenke rounding himself through the final corner, heading to the line. And Asbury Motorsports continues 100% this season, and it's their third different winner. Travis Schwenke, Dory kept swimming, and Dory takes the victory. And to the line. Big off there for Adam McNally. Big off for the Bay State Hammer.
They were coming into the final, the end of the straight, and yes, they both went off for Ratty and McNally.
They both played chicken soup. They both outbroke themselves. McNally went straight on. So did the Bay State Hammer. Gift then goes to Stephen Van Opstal, who I believe just about held off from Artem Korolski. Brilliant battle between them.
Korolski with a great run after that second pit stop. Jordy Fike is going to get, I think, after that's going to come home, I think, 11th position. Let's see what the official iRacing timing and scoring gives it to him. He's going to finish just ahead of Sarah Dove.
And Bash Slob had a moment with Sarah Dove in the penultimate corner. Bash Slob getting turned by Queen of Scots, Sarah Dove. And Bash Slob all of a sudden drops a few positions. What a massive, massive end to a sensational race of action that we've had. That one just was a fire burner. It was a Charlotte, well, it's not a Charlotte wheel, I don't believe it is. But whatever it was a firework that kept spinning and spinning and spinning a bit more there, Sue.
Yeah, the excitement went on. Maybe we'll see if we can get a replay of that final incident there that happened with Ratchi when we come back. It was kind of interesting, but man, oh man, how about Travis Schwenke picks up a win, and it's the 4th second place in a row for Aero Num.
Oh, well, sometimes when it's your day, it really is your day. Sometimes when you get yourself a position, it's something that you always seem to keep on finding. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to just calm things down here at the Global SimRacing Channel. We're going to step aside for one moment. When we come back, the post-race show, the wrap-up that we are going to have, the SimSport News wrap-up. And, well, we're going to talk to some drivers, and hopefully we're going to have a good time with things. Stay with us here on the Global SimRacing Channel. This is the MX5 World Tour. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to what is going to be on the Global Sim Racing Channel, what is known as a SimSport News wrap-up. SimSport News is the first dedicated sim racing news website that covers all broadcasted series on iRacing. Ran by Jacob Tofts and Gianni Quintelier, the SimSport News race team competes on many official iRacing series, as well as the one you've been watching. For more information, go to simsportnews.com, and of course, there is a rival there, Sim Racing Observer. Check that out, yours truly's website. But aside from that, we had a great showing here today. Up and down the field was just a joy to behold, but a very interesting end to the final lap for those in the middle of the pack. We're going to take you to a replay here. This is what happened between Adam McNally, the Geordie, against Tom Marachi, the Bay State Hammer. Soup, that was the biggest game of chicken I've ever seen, and unlike James Dean, they forgot to jump out the vehicle.
Yeah, they were just running up on the back, and Ratchi basically has to turn the car right and just gets it off the grass, and is lucky not to collect anybody as he veers across the track. That's Ratchi in the second car in line, McNally behind him, and as they come up, the track's just not wide enough now. There's no contact here.
No contact.
He just takes it off, and fortunately, he just comes out, and there goes McNally.
Well, I did make that joke when we had a lot of drivers in the pack. How close are we to Talladega? You do actually need to brake at this circuit, unlike Talladega. So I think that they need to just cool off a little bit. They've thrown away some vital points. McNally, especially for the amateur category, though. But we're going to get results for you up on your screen, because this was a topsy-turvy end to what was a very straightforward race to begin with. Travis Schwenke picks up a victory, the first one in a very long time for Schwenke. He picks up the win by 0.4 of a second over Iru Nom in second. Again, someone break his curse, please. Robert Hartley finishes in third, ahead of Gene Finnis in fourth, who dropped back in the final stages. Anwar Baral Smith will finish home in fifth with a great drive from Jason Cooper, underrated in sixth place. Dries Nice will come home in seventh with Stephen Van Opstal, the amateur category leader, in eighth. Ninth place will go to Artem Karolski, and Adam McNally will gather it all up to finish in 10th.
Jordy Fike with on-track contact, but nevertheless, he was able to salvage an 11th spot, up 2 spots. Sarah Dove up 6 spots into 12th. We just documented what happened to the Bay State Hammer, Tom Ratchi. He comes home in the Baker's dozen spot ahead of Rafael Drazik. Boss Slav was running up front. He actually led a few laps. He's going to get 15th. Neil Bamber and Derek Holland go 16th and 17th. 18th, 19th, and 20th, the last 3 cars on the lead lap, Bjorn DeForsch, Joe McDonald, and Andrew Fawcett.
And then the vehicles that didn't start all were laps down: Max Wright, Jeroen Ursum, Brian Holmes, who was up there in the beginnings, Teddy Clark, and then the 2 vehicles that failed to finish today, Steve Clays and Jacob Tofts, did not make the start. 26 drivers, but it doesn't matter how big your field is, this was an absolute joy to behold. We're going to bring into the booth then Travis Schwenke, your race winner. Travis, it's been a long time coming. Maybe fortunate for not having Sonny Canchin here, but nevertheless, a win is a win, and what a win that was.
Yeah, pretty unbelievable and pretty stoked. That was a lot of fun, a lot of hard work. I think all of our tires are gone there at the end, and just telling myself to stay smooth and not do anything stupid. So pretty great.
You pick up the lead then with a handful of laps to go, and you just see carnage go along behind you. You had yourself only a 2-car battle between what was the end at, well, the last lap, sorry, shall I say. Do you feel that you, in that situation, wanted to be at the front of the field to just stay out of the trouble, where you've been in prior races very content to stay in the pack?
I was content, obviously, through the first part. I think everyone was pretty content through that first part of the race. And then, I think after the pit or leading up to a pit, when I see stuff, I try to get myself in that top 3 or 4, if I'm in that battle. And just, I was pretty good there, but I could tell that there were a couple corners I thought I was faster in, and they were the good ones to be faster in. So I wasn't, totally worried, I guess. But, yeah, I knew I had to, once I had that, just stay there and make sure I nail Oak Tree and nail coming down through out of the roller coaster through Hog Pen, because those are the 2 corners you just had to be good in.
Well, you have to be good there, and it's very transferable, the skills, heading over in 2 weeks' time, because we head to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park most sports a circuit which is very similar, got a high top speed, a lot of straights to work with, a lot of high speed corners. Do you feel that having that transferability from going from, say, VIR, which is very similar to motorsport in its nature of speed, do you feel that's going to be benefiting you the most?
I think it'll benefit, probably 10 people. So just like you saw today, I mean, that top, 8 or so of us were together and within a few tenths in qualifying. So I think it'll be the same there. Of course, going through Moss, or what, I can't know if I get the name right here, but through that back section is very much like Oak Tree, and just as important as you take that long uphill climb down the backstretch. So I think it'll be much the same people battling, and hopefully Sonny with his computer fixed. His computer died. I would like to say I gave it a virus today, but no, he actually killed the power supply, so he got back in town from his vacation but couldn't race.
Oh, that is a shame. So we hope that he sorts his computer out soon and gets himself going. To fill out the bingo card, that must be a little bit of netcode there somewhere. But before we let you go then, Travis, any shout-outs or sponsors you'd like to give for your race victory today?
Just definitely thank my AMS team. So, I mean, it's Sonny helps, and even Tom, looking at data. Tom looks at data compared to himself and me, and, it helps me as well, it telling me where I'm smooth and where I need to work and stuff. And it's, that's invaluable to getting fast in these cars, because momentum's such a good thing. And also thank my old reward sponsor, BSI, still send them stuff, and good to have them around.
No worries at all. Travis Schwenke, Dory got a victory, and how good is that indeed? But Soup, you found a man who has a curse, and that curse is for second place finishes.
Yeah, maybe you can make one mistake and get the win. You can't make two mistakes, and that's what Errol Num did today. Errol, just too many mistakes.
Yeah, but I look at this way, that I got 40 more points than Sonny.
Right.
So yeah, losing to 10 points for not winning, it's still okay.
Yeah, and actually you got off, but you were able to salvage those spots. Let's go back to the first one. You're up front, and you make a mistake. You fall back to fourth position, and then you have to be thinking, with only a few laps to go, I can't win from back here. I got to get some work done.
Yeah, back in the fourth, it was pretty impossible to pass, so had to wait when somebody missed gear on the oak, and I was able to get side by side. We went 3 wide, so I just had to nail this corner, get to do it, and then somehow got second, so had still chance in the last lap, but went wide on the oak tree.
This is going to seem like a rude question, but I'm honestly asking, how does that happen? How do you go wide there? Are you just late to the brakes? You're too hot in? What causes you to get off track for that final spot?
Maybe I went in too fast, and I was taking it third gear, so I didn't risk to go second. So yeah, I pushed once wide, and it was the last lap.
Out of Oak Tree, did you know it was done? Then there's no chance to get him before the checker flag.
Yeah, I was just pretty lucky to keep it straight in the grass. So yeah.
Well, but you managed to look at the big picture. Second. You're gaining those points. Congratulations. I think you actually might be in the lead on the point standings when we go next round. So congratulations, and we'll see you down the road.
Yeah, thanks. I will be 29 points in the lead.
Errol, no, that's done the math. There you have it. Don't say that the scoring system is too confusing in the MWT. Errol can figure it out. All right. Who do we have? Oh, we're going to get to talk to Sarah Dove. This will be fun.
You will get to talk to Sarah Dove, actually.
Okay.
You will talk to the Queen of Scots.
Sarah, okay, let me tell you here. 12th place, I think that's a success after I saw you get kind of, boy, how can I put this? Persuaded off into the grass?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with 12th. I think if that hadn't have happened, I'd have been in that big, massive fight for the top 10. Because after that happened, I was a bit back, so fighting with Jordy and Rafal, just down the straight, I could see about 4 cars going 4 wide down the straight, so it seemed a bit crazy.
Yeah, we saw you get into that battle there that was going on about the first third of the race. Very, very fun for you. How are you doing so far? Are you happy with the way your season's gone? I bet you probably not.
Not especially, not particularly with the first 2 races. And then the one at Summit Point, I kind of forgot that there was a race. So it was like 8 o'clock or something, and I got a notification saying that GSRC has gone live with MX5 World Tour, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, when you use the broadcast notification, that's not a good sign. Glad to see that you got us hooked up there, though. Hey, let's move on to next round, assuming that it doesn't conflict with the Absolute Beginner, the IndyCar, where you won't have to. I think you're good on that one. Mosport, how do you feel about it?
Pretty good. It's a fun track.
Okay.
And it should be some crazy racing.
All right. It's Saturday night. It's still, what time? 8 o'clock, so you still have some time to enjoy the rest of your Saturday night out there in the UK. We'll catch you in. It's going to be a while now, Sarah. Mark it on your calendar. I think it's 2 weeks from today, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. We'll just, you'll figure it out. All right. There you have it, Jake. Sarah Dove, our 11th place finisher today.
The Queen of Scots having a very good run of things. But very quickly, we're going to talk to Youth Energy's Anwar Baral-Smith. Anwar, how you doing, buddy? I think we may have to go to one of the things on the bingo board there. Is your mic working, Anwar?
Yeah, it's working fine, but I think the other guys are still talking on the stream.
Oh, well, that's always going to be an issue. We can't have us talking on the stream. That's ridiculous. Why would you ever have that? But Anwar, position number 5 for you overall, a race that was topsy-turvy. Let's talk about the opening stages of the event. You were up there, you were having that scrap, and the top 4 came in. You stayed out and went for the lead. Just talk about that battle that you had with Dries Nice.
Yeah, it was really good. I think it was really good to be in touch with the pack, but ultimately I think I made my fatal error of instead of just sticking with the pack, I decided to try and go a lap longer and just try something a bit different. And then I came out the pits with no tow, and my fuel was looking dangerously low, so I had to nurse the car home in the end just to make sure I got to the end. But actually, before the pit stop, the racing was brilliant, and yeah, me and Dries had some great swap of positions, and it was looking like I might actually maybe even get higher than 5th at one point. But you know what? It was a good race. I enjoyed it, and that's the main thing.
Well, you certainly did enjoy it, and of course you were nursing that vehicle home, and to see the amount of vehicles actually run into issues in the final stages, did you think that 5th place was going to be possible for you?
No, to be honest, I was too busy thinking about making sure I finished in general. I think it was 3 laps from the end. I was following Artem, and I was pretty confident he was fuel saving as much as I was because he was going pretty slowly. And then he dived into the pits, and I sort of second guessed myself. Maybe I should do the same just to make sure I get to the end. But I thought, no, I've come this far. I'll stick it out. So really, my main concentration point was just getting to the end and keeping an eye on the fuel. And yeah, I actually thought the guys in front, they're pretty good drivers, pretty clean. I didn't think anyone would fall off, but you know, their loss is my gain, and I'm happy to take it. So yeah, happy with 5th.
Their loss is your gain. But 2 questions then to end on. I'll do a 2-in-1 special for you. Mosport in a couple of weeks' time. How are you looking forward to it? And how much does the BSRTC help you in terms of preparing for events like this?
So Mosport, don't have a clue because I don't own it and never done it before. And actually the same applied to this track up until yesterday. I only bought it yesterday. So a lot of these tracks I'm new to. I'm still getting used to iRacing a year in and sort of building it up. So, but it'll be an experience. I'll do some testing, and I'm sure if it's anything like this track, it'll be a lot of fun for sure. But in terms of the BSRTC, I think it's certainly helped. You know, I think certainly the pack racing in that series helps a lot. You know, you get to understand when to make a move and when not to make a move, and who you should work with and who you should avoid. But yeah, I'd say overall it's been really, really a good experience. But the one thing I'm really struggling with at the moment is pit strategy, as shown in that race. So that's one thing I need to learn. I need to work out the fuel, and you know, the other guys. I mean, Sonny wasn't even here tonight, and that would have been another guy who would have absolutely rinsed me on pits. So I need to get up to speed pretty quickly. But you know, I'm enjoying it and I'm learning. So hopefully at the end of the season, if I can stay near the top of the AM category, I'll be happy.
Well, he's making great strides to the amateur category. Anwar Baral-Smith, before we let you go, any shout-outs to sponsors to the boys back at Youth Energy?
Yeah, absolutely. The boys at Youth Energy have been brilliant. Adam McNally's fantastic in terms of getting me racing and getting me into different events like this one. And actually, just a shout out to Brian Holmes as well, because ultimately, when I first joined iRacing, as everyone probably finds, I was miles off the pace in this car, and it's thanks to him that I'm actually able to match people now and keep up to pace. Keeping myself from spinning off like I did at the last round, that's another matter, but still, at least the pace is there. So thanks to those guys, and yeah, looking forward to the next race.
No worries at all. Anwar Barral-Smith, position number 5, a joy to have in the commentary booth. But Soup, oh my goodness, that was a sensational final race. Any last thoughts before we head over to locking the gate up?
4 races in, about 7 to go from here, if I can do my math right. Championship up for grabs.
Oh, I don't know. That may be some bad math. I'm not too sure about that one. But unfortunately, that's going to be all that we have time for here this afternoon on the Global Sim Racing Channel. So we'd like to thank everybody at the Quality Racing Sim-dicate for organising this series and contracting with the Global Sim Racing Channel to broadcast it. Thanks, of course, also have to go to Heusinkveld. Affordable simulator software and hardware are thought to be of limited use for race teams and drivers, but their simulation solutions bring professional results within reach for any race team or driver, without having to compromise, of course, on realism or engineering value. They offer a broad array of products and services, such as advanced vehicle simulation software and hardware. They are able to simulate any combination of race car and track, including a full-fledged cockpit environment with unparalleled realism. Heusinkveld solutions are currently being used by professional teams and drivers in Formula Ford, GP3, GP2 and Formula 1. Now, these products are available for any professional team or driver looking for an edge in racing. Be a better race car driver and get in touch today. Thanks, of course, also have to go to the company's equipment and software that you see on screen now that we use in our broadcast. And of course, the original music that you've heard on today's broadcast is thanks to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them right now.
13 minus 4 is indeed 9. So there are 9 races remaining on the Heusinkveld MX-5 World Tour. And the next one up will be round 5 in 2 weeks. That's April 21st for Mosport. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. Sliding across your screen right now are some of the upcoming broadcasts, so check them out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including the complete list of future broadcasts, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. And while you're here, go ahead and click the subscribe button on the YouTube page.
And finally, on behalf of the man on my right, Bill Supzahn, the man behind the desk, our director Joe Peake, and the man who some say actually made the iRacing community laugh at an April Fool's joke, that's our camera guru Dougie Beard. I'd like to thank you all for watching a season that is looking to gear up as the road to Imola continues. Irunov keeps getting seconds, but that gets him the championship lead. Kanchan's been MIA and needs to find a bit more power source. And well, don't count out Travis Schwenke. He's just got himself a race victory. Until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.